All right, buckle up this week because we are diving deep into a story that's got everyone talking. The downfall of P. Diddy. You guys sent us a ton of stuff on this articles, even a podcast episode. I think it was in French.
Yeah, sounds like our listeners have been busy.
You clearly want the full story, and we're here to break it all down.
And it's a story that goes way beyond, like, your typical celebrity gossip. I mean, these allegations against Sean Combs, P. Diddy, they're really serious stuff. We're talking sex trafficking, racketeering.
Yeah, those are some heavy, heavy charges. I mean, we all know Diddy, right? The guy's known for his parties, the music, that larger-than-life persona. So how did we get here? How did we go from money-mo problems to these really dark accusations?
Well, you hit on a key point there, racketeering. That's not just some random charge they throw around. That suggests there's this whole system of criminal activity potentially going on for years. We're not talking about one-off incidents, but like a pattern of abuse. And I think that's what's got everyone shook.
Yeah, definitely not just a couple of bad nights. And it seems like the whole thing really blew up when Cassie Ventura,
Yeah.
She used to go by just Cassie as she came forward.
Right, and you couldn't just sweep Cassie under the rug, so to speak. I mean, here's this successful singer, model, and she's alleging that Diddy, who was her partner and a total powerhouse in the music industry, used his position to control her, exploit her.
And they settled out of court, right?
They did, settled out of court, but, and this is huge, the details that came out from her lawsuit, they were really disturbing. And on top of that, they had that NDA.
Which means basically she can't talk about any of it.
Exactly. NDAs are super common in these cases. They silence the victims and they protect these powerful people. Makes you think how many other stories are out there that we'll never hear because of those agreements.
Scary thought, really. And Cassie's story, as awful as it is, that was only the beginning.
Yeah, you're telling me it's like, unfortunately, sometimes it just takes one person speaking out to kind of open the floodgates,
Right, totally, like a domino effect. And that's what's happened with Diddy, it seems. We've got accusations from Adria English. She's a former porn star, and she's saying Diddy trafficked her.
Wow.
Yeah, saying he groomed her for sexual acts and that these things went down at his parties.
Oh, man.
Then you've got Derek Lee and Carlos Smith. They say they were drugged, assaulted. Smith actually won a default judgment against Diddy.
And that means, just so everyone's clear, it means Diddy didn't even show up to court to fight those accusations from Smith, which, speaks volumes.
Yeah, not a good look.
Yeah.
And as if all that wasn't enough, there's Dawn Richard from Danity Kane, Diddy's own group. Her accusations are really rough to hear. She says she experienced abuse and that she saw underage girls being exploited at those parties.
It's really disturbing, this pattern that's emerging. It's like these parties, they weren't just parties, they were like hunting grounds, is the sense you get.
Yeah, and you keep seeing that phrase pop up, freak-offs. What exactly does that even mean?
So from what we've gathered, it sounds like these were these elaborate sexual acts guests would, engage in, often while under the influence, I should add. And the really messed up part is that it seems like there was pressure, whether it was out in the open or just like implied, to participate.
Ugh, it's just all so awful. And Diddy, for his part, he's denied everything. But it's hard to ignore this many accusations, right, from all different people, all saying similar things. This has to be bigger than just one guy's actions.
100%. This forces us to look at the whole culture, right? The people around Diddy, the ones at these parties working with him, even benefiting from knowing him. When does staying quiet make you as guilty as the person doing the bad stuff?
It's like, that saying, if you were at the party.
Yeah.
Just being there, associated with Diddy, especially in that setting, it's like you're giving him a pass, isn't it?
Right. And this is where that whole social proof thing comes in. Think about it. Let's say you're looking for a restaurant, right? You can pick the one with 1 million good reviews or the one with none. We see it everywhere, not just Hollywood, but it plays a huge role in how we view people, too.
It's wild, right? This idea that saying nothing can actually make things worse, make more people doubt the accusations.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, who else in Diddy's world, in his circle, who else was seeing what was happening? And why didn't they say something? What did they know? It's easy for us to sit here and say, oh, I would have spoken up. But when you're talking about someone with Diddy's power, influence, it gets a lot more complicated.
For sure. I mean, even just thinking about it, if you're in that world and you call Diddy out, your career could be over. Your reputation shot.
Totally. And let's not forget, these powerful people, they have powerful lawyers. Going up against them, it's intimidating.
Absolutely. And it makes you think, like, you've got these huge EE stars, Beyonce, Jay-Z, even they're hesitant to speak up. What does that mean for someone who's just starting out, someone trying to make a name for themselves?
Exactly. You hit on a major issue here, this power imbalance. It's everywhere in Hollywood. You've got these young people, a lot of times they're, kind of naive and they're going up against these giants. It's easy to see how someone could take advantage of that. And when nobody's talking, when everyone's afraid of what might happen, it just goes on and on.
Yeah, it's really disheartening. And it makes you realize this isn't just a Hollywood problem, right? This whole power dynamic, people staying silent, it happens everywhere.
100%. It's on all of us to see those patterns, to call it out when we see someone being taken advantage of, whether it's, like you said, Hollywood or at work, even in our own families.
Well, this has been pretty intense, this whole deep dive into P. Diddy. It's definitely got us thinking about the entertainment industry in a whole new light.
Mhm.
And not just that, it's a reminder that power dynamics exist everywhere and that we all have a responsibility to say something if we see something wrong.
It's heavy stuff, no doubt, but having these conversations, even if they're tough, it's the only way things are going to change.
Couldn't agree more. And for our listeners, if you want to learn more about this case, all the details will link all the source material in our show notes. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll be back next week with a brand new topic. Until then, keep asking those questions. And remember, sometimes the most important stories are the ones that make us uncomfortable.